Hello guys and welcome to today's video. As you can see on screen, we're going through the Nameless Grandmaster in Necropolis. We'll be going through each phase, talking about what the phase entails, how to complete it, and the percentages that you complete. So for this first phase, you need to get 4 tactics banned in order for the Grandmaster to become wounded, where you can do a max. You can only do 1% of his max damage, which is 125k in a hit. That's it. You can only do damage through hits. He can only take 125. This phase is also from 100% health to 60% health. You'll also have this SP1 sort of mini game type thing included in it, which you guys would have seen from the original Grandmaster, where he throws the beam. You need to dex that beam. Then you'll get the either or a combination of green dexterity. So you need to, if it's a green one, you need to dex it. If it's a red fist, you need to let it hit you. If it's a blue shield, you need to block it. And it is a combination of those. So it could be 3 greens, it could be a red blue shield, it could be 2 fists and a blue shield. A combination of that, as you guys have seen. So within this phase, one last thing you have to remember is there is red light, green light. So similar to if you've seen Squid Game or whatever, when the green light is active, you can hit Grandmaster, you can continue the fight, you can dex, whatever. You'll get a tiny little prompt in the bottom right that will say red light, and then in 2 seconds it flashes to a red light. That red light lasts for about 3 or 4 seconds. You just have to hold block and do nothing. Do not move, do not dex, do not throw a punch or anything. Otherwise you get a token of incompetency, which is the red tokens. And if you get 3 of those tokens, then you get, or the Grandmaster gets 3 bars of power, which instantly kill you. So we'll jump into what you can see on the screen now, and then I'll explain the process of this first phase and show you guys that it is quite easy. The whole fight isn't too difficult. You guys should be able to do it. I only needed about 7 or 8 revives, I think it was, of the first 3 phases. So again, I didn't find it too tricky, and I don't think you guys will either. So let's jump into the main fight. As you can see, we're jumping in now with Egon as the main fighter. This first recording, I went in a little bit late. You can see that I'll end up dying and we'll be able to reset it. But you can see on the screen already, I've got 2 of the top red tokens of incompetency, so you can see what that looks like. So this will be basically my first attempt at explaining phase 1 to you. It goes, I think, a lot smoother than that last one. And there's a very good loop to complete this phase easier. So it goes parry, because you need to get your parry banned. Then heavy knockdown, so heavy attack straight away to get the heavy attack banned. You then want to go medium light, just medium light to get the light attack banned, and then continue dexing it until it's banned, and that gives him his bar of power. So you can see I parried, but only the knockdown was banned. That then confuses me. I do a parry again. I get a token of incompetency because I did a banned tactic, but then I dex, the dex gets banned, and we go into the special one. So a bit of a mix-up on that one, not the cleanest way. You can see we're in the wounded stage. If you use a relic while Grandmaster is wounded, it increases your time by 5 seconds, which is really good at, of course, extending his time. You can see there. So just then, if you go back in the video, you'll see it says red light, it says green light, then it says red light, and I know then not to do any more, to not hit him anymore or anything like that, because it will turn to red light. So now we're doing our combo again. We've just gone red light, so we have to hold block, do nothing. We're back to green light. We've got the parry band and we've got the light attack band, so we need to get the heavy band and the dex. There's the dexterity band, so now I'm just charging a heavy attack. Luckily I got that intercept, and now we are he's got his special one. You've got to let him throw his SP1, do whatever the prompts are. So you can see we've got green for dex, blue for block, and red for let it hit you. He's then wounded, so I'm going into this as much as I possibly can. I sort of messed it up I went to hit while it was red light. But as you can see here, if you go into the next phase, he loses those 3 bars of power and you stay alive. So that's really nice, and I didn't know that was a thing, so I got quite lucky there. We'll now move into phase 2, which we'll just be able to have to speak about, as the recording unfortunately crashed for that one. But we will be able to show a few bits of the fight. Unfortunately, I don't get very far. This is a classic phase of Simon Says, if you don't know what that is. The Grandmaster will let out a command, so this may be ones I saw were gain a buff, throw a special attack, inflict a damaging debuff, well-timed blocks, hit into the blocks. If it just says gain a buff, you don't want to do it. If it says Grandmaster Says gain a buff or critical hit, then you want to do it, and that will gain you a sort of a challenge completion token. 5 of those then forces the Grandmaster to go wounded, and then that's where you do a lot of your damage in this phase. You still have the usual SP1, he can only gain 1 bar of power, but also, you can only gain 1 bar of power, but the red light, green light is no longer a thing in this phase, so that has completely passed and is not something to worry about any longer. So remember, the key to this is, if it says Grandmaster Says, and then the challenge, you do it. If it just says the challenge and not Grandmaster Says, you don't do it. You let the timer expire, which I'll show you on screen in a second, and then you get, if you complete the challenge or you don't do the thing that you're not supposed to do, you get a challenge completion. 5 of those makes him go wounded. So that is phase 2. So now you'll see in this short little clip, again, the recording crashed, unfortunately, so I do apologise for that, but hopefully you will see a little bit of what the challenge looks like when it pops up, just to give you an idea. Do remember that if you do a challenge correctly, you get a challenge complete, but if you do one incorrectly, then you do get a token of impotency, which if you get 3 will put him to 3 bars of power. So you'll see here, it says Grandmaster Says inflict a damaging effect. So there you want to inflict a damaging effect. If you've got egg on, obviously this is tricky because you're only limited to 1 bar of power, so unfortunately you just have to let that roll no matter what. So even as you'll see when that timer goes down, let's just see out this SP1. When that timer goes down, you still gain a that challenge little ticket in the top right. So that is ideal. You can just let them play out. You can see here that I need to gain a buff, but I have to keep avoiding him, otherwise it will fail, and then in the end it did fail because I gained a buff because he hit me. So that's basically phase 2. Quite easy. You just do what the Grandmaster says while keeping him to his SP1. And it shouldn't be too tricky for you guys. Just don't do it whatever he says unless it says Grandmaster Says. Again, a relatively easy phase. Get to 5 of those tickets. Whether you complete them or not, you get to 5. So if you're at 4 and you've got no tokens of impotency, just fail the challenge so he instantly goes wounded so you can do as much damage as possible. That would be quite smart and would make the fight that little bit quicker for you guys. So on screen now you can see phase 3. In phase 3, he is between 29% health and 2% health. This is all reverse controls. So bring in a reverse control immune champ. That is the major tip. Bring them in. I know it says in the sort of nodes or in his information, if you bring in somebody who's immune to that, you take direct damage to your health. But it's direct damage to your health, not his health. So if you're on 1% health, there is... You know, if you're on 0, 2% of 0 is 0. You don't take any damage. 2% of 1 is such minimal damage that you'll never die. So bring in a reverse immune champ. Yeah, you'll have to do it at 1%, but it will be so much easier, unless you're really good reverse controls, than doing it with reverse controls. So I would highly recommend bringing someone in. I use Professor X for this, which you'll see on screen. So for this one, again, it's all reverse controls. It's the same as the last phase. So it's still challenges. You have to do as he says if he says Grandmaster Says, or don't if it doesn't say Grandmaster Says, and that's basically the phase. Quite an easy one, not too much to worry about. Well, you will see some gameplay on screen now. So as you can see, we're going in with Professor X because he's reverse control immune. He will take the ticking damage all the way down to 1%, so hopefully that shows here. He takes quite a lot at the start, but as you can see, it's getting less. It's 601, 570, 559, but we're into phase phase 3. So Grandmaster says strike my block. It says there you have to hit it 4 times. So I 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's challenge complete. That's 1 already done. Again, you follow the SP1 as normal. Block, dex, let it hit you, dive in. Keep trying to do these challenges as much as you can. Get to 5. Again, it doesn't matter whether you complete them or not. It's still 5. And then that will allow you to put him into the wounded state. That makes it a lot easier. He can go to SP2 here, which is this one. It doesn't do too much damage if you are blocking. So that's something not too much to worry about. Here, I need to get 2 well-timed blocks. There's 1, but unfortunately I go again and I'm on 1% damage. So that is the problem. If you get well-timed blocks, you do kind of get stuffed. But you'll see I keep going into this fight, and phase 3 is over quite quickly once I get him to wounded, but it's very much the same as the last phase. So you can see, okay, I didn't have gameplay for the last phase, but I do have it for this one here. So we'll carry on with this fight and talk you through a bit more of it now. So the hardest part about these fights are the fact that they are because of the reverse controls, it does take you down to 1%. You can see there, as soon as Grandmaster hit me, I basically died. That is a bit of a problem. It does make it very, very annoying. But again, it's just about completing the challenges. As I mentioned previous, if you're on 4 challenges and the challenge is tricky, or you've got a chance of dying, so say you're on 1% and it says to do well-timed blocks, just see out the timer. You still get the little ticket, which will put you to 5, which will then put him wounded. And, you know, that helps you out an absolute ton. As you can see here, a lot of the way I'm fighting is I'm just waiting to see what I'm pushing him to his end, seeing what it is, so it's to knock him down. So the easiest way to do this would have been to use my special attack. I can't remember now what I did. I think I used it. No, I just went for the heavy. Wow, that was ballsy. So now I strike my block. I can't strike his block. I think I missed this. I can't remember 100%. No, I didn't. I was fine. There, annoyingly, I tried to dex that, which was frustrating. But here's perform well-timed block. I just see out the timer because, well, I got lucky there, really. That well-timed block counted as 3. But you see here now, so we're whiffing. 4th challenge coming right up. So you can see I'm at 1%, so I'm under a little bit of pressure here. I can't remember if I managed to complete this or if I went to if I managed to complete the challenge or not. I believe here I missed what the challenge was. Like, I didn't know that it was throw an SP2 or crit. I can't remember what it was. And then this one I just let expire because whatever I did, if I had tried to knock him down, I probably would have died. So there you can see I do fuck it up by or mess it up, sorry, by trying to throw my special attack. So luckily I get away with the relic. If you just hit normally, you don't have to worry about doing too much damage. I don't sort of know why I tried to go with the special attack and the heavy. Looking back now, the best way to do it is just to hit him and try and build up that relic. That is sort of your best, your best form of attack. So we're going to go in, I think, 1 more time or 2 more times, and then he should be down to 1%. The final phase isn't that tricky. It's more just long. It is still reverse controls, I believe, but not 100%. That is something I will quickly check before we get into the phase 4 section of this video. But for the phase 3 one, the biggest tip for this video for the Grandmaster is bring in at the start of the fight. If hopefully you're watching this before you go in, but bring in a reverse control Immune Champ. It just makes, you don't have to mess with this. Yeah, you're at 1%, but you can see how, I'm able to do a 1%. It's definitely possible. It's not completely different. Like, it's not too tricky. You won't be you won't lose all your health from that degen because, as mentioned, it's proportional to your health. So if you're on no health, then it will tick 1. Do you know what I mean? And every 2 seconds, even if it's 100, it's a long time to be in that fight for still. So it's not something to worry about too much, but just please bring in those champs. That can be Juggernaut, would have been a good option for me here. Professor X was good. I was going to try Sinister. I had quite a few choices, but here you can see I die again. So now I've got to go out, use another revive, but I believe my next go was the final go. And then I took Grandmaster to phase 4. So yeah, this phase is all about just doing what the Grandmaster says. It shouldn't be too tricky. I'm going to leave you guys now to just see out the rest of this phase, watch it over a couple times, and then I'll be back for the beginning of phase 4. So you can see phase is now complete. So phase 4 is not one of the hardest phases because there's a little bits in there that help you out. So first things first, as soon as he gets to 1%, he regens all of his health, like exactly like Nick Fury. And then this ticks down across, say, 30 seconds. Very literally the same as Nick Fury, all the way down to 1%. But then he has Indestructible, a Fury, Immortality, and Indestructible. To get rid of these, you need to intercept the Grandmaster. You need to do your special 1, your special 2, and your special 3. Every time you die, you get a token of Guile. Each token of Guile gives you a 2% increased combat power rate. So that, as well as the token of Guiles that you've already got, will increase your power rate. So if you've got 10, it will increase your combat power rate by 20%, which is ideal. Helps you finish this phase a bit quicker. But if you don't, it's it's down to your base, and every time you die, it is still reverse controls in this one. In this phase, every time you do anything but block, they're switched. So you do need that reverse control champion again. Otherwise, this becomes really, really tricky because it rotates between. It's like on, off dependence. You can see, there we go. There's the Grandmaster. This is his life decoy, so he's going back. He's losing 208,000 health. It's a big degen. And here, so you need to, very special 1, you need to intercept him. And I don't think these carry across either. But I'm not 100%, and I'll check that in this fight, because I do believe I throw my special 1 here. And then when I go into the fight, he's still got the... when I go into the fight next time, he's still got it. Or he hasn't got it anymore, sorry. So that will be checked. You can see he's got 4 there. I will die in a second, because he is indestructible and he's immortal, he does, I'm pretty sure, become... yeah, he does. He becomes unblockable as well because he's got that Hercules immortality. So you need to do your SP3, your SP2, your SP1, and intercept. And then the fight is over and the Grandmaster dies. So let's see it, how I played it out. I believe it didn't take me too long. You don't tick down with a reverse control immune champ here. So just regen to full health or whatever it is. It just gives you more time, more health to play with, trying to get these special attacks completed. So we'll see now when I go in how I did it. I went for the special 3 first because obviously with Professor X it's quite tricky. It's quite easy because what I should have done was I should have threw loads of heavy attacks. I know that would be very complicated and actually overcomplicating it, but I could have thrown loads of heavy attacks and then had put mind control on and that would have stopped. It would have made my life a lot easier, but potentially harder. So probably it's not worth it. So you still have to play the SP1s the same way. You will see that because I used my special one on the last time I was in the fight, it's no longer there. So I only need to use my SP3 and my SP2 and intercept, and the fight is over. Which is quite nice. They do carry across. So you're not exactly like spending thousands and thousands of revive. There's the intercept. Here's my special 3. So after this, all I'll need is the special 2, and then the fight is over. So you can see it's just the Furies on there. The Fury and Indestructible. The Indestructible is the SP2, and the Fury, as I had already mentioned, is the intercept. But of course, I just intercepted, which you saw on screen. So I wonder if I'll do a second one. I can't remember 100%. I think the fight just ended on my SP2, but we will see it in the video now. If this video has helped you out, please leave a like and subscribe. It would help massively. I would really appreciate all the support as well from you guys. And finally, we're close to Valiant, which is very exciting. So let's see off the fight and then end this video off. So there's the intercept again, and then there's my SP2. And bang, the fight's over. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helped. See you in the next one. Goodbye.